All right, guys, welcome to April. Thanks for hopping on. We have a super special guest speaker tonight, and I just want to thank her so much because she's overcoming food poisoning. So the fact that she's even sitting here is shows you her dedication to this company and all of you and giving back. So Kelsey is 1 star still, Kels? She's gonna pop like 5 any day. So she hits Success Club 20. I don't know how many months in a row now, but I know it's been since the beginning of this year. So she has left her full-time job as a reporter in Tennessee and now does coaching full-time. So Noelle and I have been following her journey since we started, and it's been amazing to see her grow into a fierce leader. And I got to spend a lot of time with her on the Success Club cruise, which was amazingly insane. And it just made it more real. And I was like, I got to get you on a call. So Noelle and I thank you for hopping on again. And if you need to get up or anything, just let us know, because I know food poisoning is not fun. But I will stop chatting, and Kelsey, you go for it.
Well, thanks to you both for asking me to be on this call. I think Noelle messaged me a month and a half ago and asked me to be on it. And I'm like, Noelle, I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow for lunch. But no, I really am super excited to talk to all you guys. And I was talking to Danielle on the cruise, like she said, and we got to spend a lot of time together. So I got to know her a lot better too. And she told me a lot about your team. So I'm really super excited to meet you all and talk to you guys tonight. Excuse me. And I feel way better now, so I'm not going anywhere. It was a pretty rough day yesterday, but I'm back in commission today. So I guess everybody wanted me to talk about how I turned this hobby into my career. And my story goes back pretty far. So if you guys don't mind, I'll just kind of tell you where I came from and how this all began for me and where I am now. And that'll make more sense I guess, why I'm talking to you guys tonight. So curious question, raise your hand if this pertains to you. How many of you are full-time employees right now? Okay, a lot of you. Okay, cool. How many of you like what you do for a living? Cool. For those of you that don't really like what you do for a living, how many of you believe that Beachbody is your way out? Okay. I want to start off this call by saying one thing, and I think it's one thing that a lot of people don't really understand about being a coach, and it's that this really awesome phenomenon that you actually don't have to hate your job to be a coach. I really feel like a lot of people come into this and say, especially my team, because they know that I quit, they come in and they're like, well, I actually like what I do. And I'm like, okay, good. That's great. And I want you guys to like what you do and that's awesome. You don't have to hate your job to be successful in this business. Your leaders are very, very good examples of that. So I just wanted to tell you guys that right up front. I used to be a television reporter. I was on TV. I did the whole hip and hoorah. I was there at bad car accidents and all the other crazy stuff that you do when you flip through the news. That's all I ever wanted to do, was be a journalist. I wanted to be on TV. I wanted to talk about sports. News was never really my thing. I wanted to be a sports reporter. I love the idea of being able to change somebody's life by telling their story and getting it out to the public. That was really cool to me. It was my job to keep the public informed about what was happening around them, and I thought that was so cool that I had the ability to do that. It wasn't the fact that I was on TV and you got to see my face if you click through the evening news. It was the fact that the story I got to tell about somebody. And I can honestly say in my past 4 years as a journalist, I was able to do all of those things. I can honestly say that I made a difference in a lot of people's lives. But like I said, I didn't want to do news. I wanted to do sports. News to me was extremely depressing. And I know if any of you guys watch the news, you know that news is really, really miserable. You see a lot of bad things. Imagine being on the side of the screen where you actually have to be the one to go through the reports and you have to hear about it all the time. So I graduated from college at the intent of going into sports reporting. So I wanted to avoid news like the plague, but I talked to one of my mentors and he told me to take what I could get. Now take that advice, right? Take what you can get. That was great advice. But back then I was a college student and I didn't know any better. So what did I do? I took what I could get. I could literally punch that guy in the face if I saw him today. But there is a lot, as I was kind of mentioning, that the viewer doesn't see that happens in the news industry. So I typed up a couple things that I had to deal with throughout my 4 years for you guys to kind of understand what I went through. I missed 3 4th of Julys, 4 Thanksgivings, 1 Christmas, and 3 New Years with my family. I've had multiple time off requests denied. Barely made minimum wage. I had to cut off a lot of time short with my family. I've been screamed at multiple times on the phone by my boss because I didn't want to do something that I personally did not believe in doing. I've been disrespected. I've actually had somebody spit at me when I was at a place trying to get interviews after a tragedy happened. I've been cursed at. I've been ran off properties. I've been threatened and told I was a horrible person for being at certain scenes. I was forced to be in a lot of situations that made me extremely uncomfortable. I've seen horrific car accidents. I've watched people's houses burn down in front of them. I saw homes destroyed by a tornado. I've seen communities heartbroken by gang violence. I've been called in on weekends, and I've sacrificed a lot of sleep. And I probably can tell you there was 2 or 3 times that I've thrown up from being so overwhelmed. 4 years were taking a massive toll on my life, and I can honestly say it takes a very special person to do that job because it's not easy. And so if you guys are watching the news, I always do this shout out when I'm doing calls, because if you guys are watching the news, it's those reporters that whenever, I know you guys have probably all said it before, that's so rude. Why'd they show up there? Why are they trying to interview that mom or do this and do that? They don't want to be there just as much as the people don't want them there. So I always throw that in there because it does take a really special person to do that job. And like I mentioned through all of this, I really did still love what I did. But in the middle of year 2, I was at the lowest for all the reasons that I just told you. Depression was setting in. I was starting to stress eat. I was negative. I was broke, miserable. I was extremely unhealthy. And I began to turn to alcohol to solve all my problems. And I was a bitch. And I will admit that. I was a really, really unhappy person. And I was extremely mean to every single person around me. I am so grateful that that guy's still marrying me out there, because I was not easy to handle. I was not. And here's the thing. When you're miserable, misery loves company, right? So you better believe that whenever I'm scrolling through Facebook and I saw my coach's post about how happy she was because of a fitness program and a shake, I literally laughed my ass off and I kept scrolling. And I apologize, guys, I do curse, so hopefully you're not offended by that. But I did. I kept scrolling right past it. And I guess they really do teach us the power of consistency for a reason, because she kept popping up in my newsfeed all the time. And finally one day I was like, well, what the heck is she doing? So I reached out, only to deny her immediately. Like she was a new coach at the time, so she word vomited all over me and Shakeology and blah, 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 and 20 pounds and blah, blah, blah. And I ran in the opposite direction. So I actually went behind her back to purchase the 21-day fix because I never saw the value in Shakeology. So I was one of those coaches, one of the coaches that we all drive us crazy. But in those 3 weeks, I finally felt like I had control over something in my life. I had control over my choices, my health, and I felt like I was in charge for the first time in a very long time. The one thing I didn't have for that 3 weeks was the support, which is what we're here for as coaches. So naturally, I came crawling back to her and I said, hey, remember me, the person that went behind your back and bought 21-day fix and didn't want Shakeology? Yeah, I really need your help. So being the person that she is, my upline is Natalie Bailey. I don't know if you guys follow her, but we were friends in college, and I went back to her and she was just like, you know what? Like, we got into this long talk and she talked to me about the coaching opportunity. So I bought the T25 challenge pack on minimum wage, and that's where my story begins. I started sharing every day. I started helping hundreds and hundreds of people. I started building a team of incredible women that I'm helping do the same thing right now. But during all this time where it was a hobby, right? It was just something that I wanted to do. It was something that made me happy. It was my way of coming home from those bad days and for me to like kind of get away from it for a couple hours, because I knew that I was helping somebody at the end of the day, which is something that I love to do. But during that whole time, I still thought that reporting was my only choice. That's what I went to school for, right? That's what I spent $70,000 to go and do. So that's what I'm going to do. Beachbody, again, hobby. It wasn't anything more than that. I didn't believe that this could be a career for me. My coach would tell me all the time that she was going to be a full-time Beachbody coach. And I was like, okay, good riddance, have fun. I'm going to be a reporter because that's what I went to school for. So what did I do? Even though I was miserable, even though I was unhappy, even though I was depressed, I signed another 2-year contract, and that brought me here to Tennessee. And I thought things were going to start getting better, but they didn't. It was the same crap in a different city. The same things started happening to me again, and my mindset immediately went to shit. I'll tell you that. Beachbody, all of a sudden, when my mind went bad, my business went really bad. Beachbody wasn't easy for me anymore. It wasn't fun for me. It became extremely, extremely hard. And guess what happened with that? No one wanted to sign up with me. My conversations just ended. People told me no. And in December of 2014, I was the excuse queen of the century, and I missed Success Club for the first and only time in my business. And that to this day makes me sick to my stomach. It was February 2015. It was really, really, and I can remember this day like it was yesterday. It was snowing like crazy outside. And I got a call from my boss that morning. It was a Saturday, like I said. And she called me and told me I needed to work a 14-hour snow day. This is after I worked a 80-hour week because it was a really bad winter weather week that week. And I remember at that moment sitting up in bed and I lost it. I started crying my eyes out, and I started resenting the job. And I said, why am I doing this to myself? And I was screaming it at the top of my lungs. Why am I doing this to myself? I can still feel myself in that moment. Zach, my fiance, sat down next to me. He witnessed the entire thing. And that day we made a decision. We said that at the end of 2015, I was not going to do this anymore. I was not going to work in news anymore. So from that moment, I had to make that decision. Okay, am I going to give Beachbody my all? Am I going to keep putting myself through this? Or am I going to make the decision to succeed? And notice that I say decision because you have to make a decision to succeed. That's what this business is. Any of you on this call can make the decision to succeed. So what did I do? I started watching coaches that were where I wanted to be. I followed them like a hawk. Now, I'm not talking like the Bonnie Ingalls and the Melanie Mitros. I watched the Success Club leaderboards and dropped the cookie. So if I saw somebody that was ranking high in Success Club, I went to their Facebook page and I followed them. I wanted to see what they were doing. I listened to the National Wake Up Calls. If you guys are not listening to those every Monday, you have to be listening to those every Monday. They talk about top recruiters every week. Whenever I heard them, I'd write their names down really quick. I'd go and follow them on Facebook. I wanted to learn. I knew back then that Bonnie Ingalls' dynasty was growing really fast. And so for her, for instance, I related to her. So I watched her grow from 2-star diamond to 15-star diamond. And I would sit there on her YouTube channel and try to figure out what it was. I would break down every YouTube video she made to try to figure out what it was that was working for her. Same with all these other top recruiters. She did trainings to say to hit high in Success Club and to recruit and to run your page like an open sneak peek. So I did it. And guess what happened? I was listening to who it was working for, and it started changing for me too. So in 2015, a lot of awesome stuff started happening for me because I was listening to what was working. I started helping 5 or more people every month. Success Club 5 wasn't an option for me anymore. It was Success Club 10 and up every single month. You need to be shooting for Success Club 10 and up every single month. I base my business off of Success Club. If you're not hitting Success Club, you have a serious problem. I'm just going to throw that in there right now. You have to be hitting Success Club. I made that a goal of mine every single month last year. That got me to a Success Club 10 All-Star. So because of that, my income obviously started to grow, right? So I was able to bring me and Zach on an all-inclusive trip to Punta Cana last year, which was incredible for me. I earned the Success Club cruise that we all went on last month. Zach went completely for free. I started introducing the business opportunity to others, which was extremely huge. I changed my social media game. So I'm no longer looking for challengers. I'm looking for coaches. I dug into my brand. I found out who I was looking for, and I invested hours and hours and hours into trainings on my like page, and I was growing. That's what I wanted to do. But I would love to tell you guys that that was the key to getting me to where I'm at today, which I say that I have grown leaps and bounds, but I'm not where I want to be yet. But it's not, because honestly, the key to success in this business and any business that you might be in is your mindset. I made a decision that day that I was going to quit. And on January 8th, 2016, I walked out of that place for the last time. I put my 2 weeks in December. And I still get goosebumps when I think about that moment when I walked out those doors and I turned around and I looked back at that place knowing I'd never have to walk back in there again. And I envisioned that moment, that day, that snowy day in February. And I remembered that every single day when I showed up to show up for my business. So when I turned around, I got to look at it for the last time in January. That was my moment where I knew that I did what I had to do. I made that decision. So here's a curious question for you. And I want you guys to be completely honest. How many of you considered quitting? You can be honest. Everybody's hand should be up, because honestly, I was the exact same way. I was a quitter. Before this business, I was a quitter. Every time something would get hard, the old me would want to quit. I had to write this down on a piece of paper. You have to eliminate your exit strategy. Every time I would think, what if this doesn't work? I had to remind myself, what if it does work? What if this does work? When I wanted to give up, when things got hard, I remembered why I needed this in the first place. And that is what drove me every single day. For me, it was I knew that I needed to get out of that job. For you, it can be something completely different. But if you can connect to that, why you need this so bad, this business becomes easy. I showed up day in and day out. I posted on social media. I was a diamond coach pretending I was a 5-star because I believed in myself. I believed that I could do this. The point of me telling you all this is to make you realize that your success is not based on your upline coach. It's based on you. You and you only. Our products and Shakeology, that's just a part of it. But in order to grow your team, in order for you to accomplish your biggest dreams, in order for you to become who you are meant to be, you have to eliminate your exit strategy and have the mindset that you're going to do whatever it takes to succeed. That's it. So I have a couple tips. I don't know if you guys want me to share these on what I do to hit Success Club pretty high, and about talking about my brand and building a network. So if you guys want me to share that, I'm more than happy to do that. Is that okay? Cool. I guess that my whole thing I kind of want to preface this by is people see my numbers and they automatically think that I am just a person that's going to sign up everybody and everyone. I'm not like that. I am very super specific with who I'm talking to. Who's in my challenge groups, and actually who's even on my team. I'm very specific with that. So I guess I'll start off with tip number 1 is don't just talk to anyone. Talk to your brand. How many of you would say you know what your brand is? You pretty confident? I think that I kind of define this to my team a different kind of way. I don't believe that our brand is mom, wife, nurse, engaged, dogs, teacher, beach life, whatever. That's not your brand. That's just a part of your brand. I call that just like a little small nugget. And I go over this with my team on our very first Get Started Right call. On our Get Started Right calls, I don't go over the whole Success Club Coach Online Office thing because I just don't want to overwhelm them. They get to watch a document and a video before they even get on a phone call with me. Our call is focused on making sure they know 3 things. 1, why they're here. 2, who they are. And 3, that they actually have a story. They need to know that they have a story. So I'm going to share with you guys what I share with them on our first Get Started Right call. Number 1, I ask them who they are and what are their passions. So this would be the nurse, the teacher, the dog mom, the religious person. For me, the Steelers fan, I'm getting married, things like that. So who you are, what are you passionate about? What do you like to do? That is number 1 part of your brand. I find that about every single one of my coaches. Number 2, I ask them, who were you before Beachbody? I want to know the struggles they faced, the moments from their past that define who they are today, how they felt about themselves when they looked in the mirror. I ask them all these questions on our first call. I make them get really deep and get really real with me. Number 3, I say, who are you now that Beachbody is in your life? What changed about you, right? So what happened is your weight different? How do you feel about yourself? Now that you're a coach, how has your income changed? Number 4 is that why. Why do you want to be here in the first place? And I will tell them this, and I use this line on every coach. I say, if you are going to tell me that you are here just because you want to help people, that's basically Miss America telling me she wants world peace, right? That's everybody's here to help people. Everybody wants world peace. Why are you here? So that would be your deep, deep thing. Why are you here? You want to quit your full-time job, right? The last one is, where are you going? Where are you going? What are your dreams for the future? How many kids do you want? What does your house look like? Where are you living? Are you debt free? I want to know all that. Those are the 5 parts of the brand. So again, who you are, who were you before Beachbody, Who are you now the beach buddies in your life? What is your why? And where are you going? So as I'm on the phone with every single one of my coaches, I type this up as they're talking to me. So I have a Word document put to the side, and as we're on our Zoom chat, I'm typing all this stuff up. After our first call, I'll actually send it to them. So they know exactly what they're working for, and they just told me what they need to say in their coming out post. They just told me. So I know exactly what it is. And if you go to my page right now, my posts are based around those 5 categories. Every single time I'm posting, I'm pulling a nugget out and I'm writing about it. So for my wedding, you might see something about me saying 100 days to the wedding. That's part of my brand. That's who I am, right? You might see me talk about something about my health and fitness journey. That's who I am. I'm a health and fitness coach. Who I was before Beachbody. You might hear me talk about how I was depressed or things like that. I always pull stuff out of those 5 categories. That is your brand. And I can tell you the really, really cool part is every time I'm on a call with my coaches and I'm asking them these same questions, our stories overlap like crazy. I get goosebumps every single time. One of them maybe suffered from depression. Another one's getting married. Another one's a psychopath, crazy person about their dachshunds. I have so many people with wiener dogs on my team. I don't know how that happened. It's crazy, but that's what I did, right? I'm solely looking for my people. I'm talking to my people. And I do the same thing with coaching posts and stuff like that. I'm looking for coaches, for the coaches. I'm even looking for the same thing with my challengers. So I don't run my challenge groups are solely for brides. That's it. I don't run for everybody. I run for brides. That's who I am. The moment I do these calls with my coaches, I'll tell you, we get off the phone and we're like best friends already because they know that I genuinely care about them. They genuinely know that I care about them. So I know that was a long number 1, which again was to don't talk to anyone and just talk to your brand. That has changed so many things for me. So many things for me. And like I said, my team has grown significantly and they're all like me. You on our team page right now, you'd be like, oh my gosh, they're a bunch of emotional brides. That's me with wiener dogs. Number 2, get a like page and build a following. Like now. Get a like page. I don't care if you're a brand new coach for a week or if you've been a coach for 2 years. You have to have a like page. And you need to be posting on it 3 to 5 times a day. I don't care if you have no followers or not, but can you imagine if you went to a page and someone invited you to like a page and they didn't post on it? You're not going to stick around very long. So even if you're not actively using your like page, copy and over and paste what you have been doing from your personal page every single day. Just so you have something that if they click on your page, they can start scrolling through it and see who you are. You can boost posts from there. I always recommend my coaches to get their page to 1,000 likes ASAP. That makes you look more credible. I'm not going to get into more of ads, but if you are doing ads, make sure, again, you're going back to your brand and who you're looking for. And then every time that somebody likes my page, I click on it. I click on that person and I see if I relate to them, and then I'll send them a friend request. So if I can click on them and if I feel like we can relate on some level, that's when I send a friend request. Again, I'm very, very, very specific with who I'm looking for. And if once they accept me, they're automatically placed on my bride's prospect list. Do you guys know what Facebook lists are? You guys can create a list on Facebook with just the people that you're looking for. And I'll go through and I'll like all their stuff every single day. I put them on a list with just bride prospects, and then I like and comment on their stuff for a couple weeks. And then once I feel like I built that relationship, that's when I'll invite them to our challenge group. Number 3. Okay. So people ask me all the time, how are you hitting Success Club 30? And this is my answer for you. That's not Success Club 30 or Success Club 20. That's 10 to 15 lives changed. That's 10 to 15 lives, people that want to grow a business. When it comes to Success Club, the key to Success Club and whatever you're shooting for is consistency every single day. And that goes back to what I was talking about at the beginning of this call. Even when shit gets hard, you showing up and posting every single day. I don't take a day off ever. You can't go to my social media page and find a day where I have not posted. That is my I know that they just did the 4th recognition or 4th vital behavior, and they said it was recognition. I think the 4th vital behavior is consistency on social media. If you're not posting on social media, sorry, your business is nothing. So what I had to do is if I wanted increased numbers, I had to do increased work. So guys, the basically times 10 is what I do on a daily basis. I have mastered the art of working very fast. So the BAT says to invite 3 to 5 people a day. So I'm inviting 5 to 15. Or 15 to 20. If I'm adding if it says to add 2 to 3 to my network, I'm adding 10 to 15. I've heard it over and over again. Do what everybody else is not doing. So I started doing what everybody else was not doing. Bet you any money, there's not many coaches out there that invite 15 to 20 people a day. I do. I do because I want my business to grow faster. I know that if I'm hitting Success Club 20 to Success Club 30 a month, I'm setting an expectation for my team that they'll want to do the same. And it's really amazing that on the first of every month, how fast my team just comes out of the gate. Really fast. It required sacrifice from me. It required a lot of long hours and hard work, but it's so worth it. Everybody says to make it to your 1 year, and your 1 year is the hardest year because there's so much inconsistency. You're still trying to build. But once you hit that 1 year, people know that you're for real. They're starting to watch you and they know you aren't going anywhere. And that's what's super cool about it. But what I say is wait until year 2. Because year 2 is where it gets really fun. And I'm telling you that my Coach Online office looks a lot different. And my last tip in regards to growing your business is being a leader to your team. It's so easy to be just their friend. And I will say that my team are my best friends. But when we're on calls, when we're doing stuff like this, I am their leader. I'm not their friend on calls because they want to build a business, then I'm going to teach them how to build a business. I am not going to be the leader that tells them it's okay to drop rank, that it's okay to not hit their goals, or it's okay to fall off the face of the earth for 2 months, then come back. I'm not that kind of leader. I used to be that leader for the first year of my business, and I didn't get anywhere. All it did was hold them back, and it held me back for a very long time. I could never grow as a leader because I was too concerned about being their friend. I was too concerned about hurting their feelings. But since this mindset changed, I've had 3 diamonds advance in the past 2 months. I've had 2 more that are 1 emerald away from it because I decided that I was going to be a leader and not be their friend at all times. Again, like I said, they're my best friends. Like, we can talk about anything. And when it's not business time, we're friends and we're finding out about each other's lives. But when we're on one-on-one calls, like, they know, like, when they schedule a call with me, that they have to tell me what we're talking about because they have 20 minutes and that's it. And they're off the phone. I'm here to help people see success in every aspect of their lives, whatever that success looks like to them. So I will tell you that I will not continue to support excuses and lack of commitment in their business. I don't know how your team does things, but that's how our team does it, and they know it. And guess what happened with that? My attitude, when I changed to that, they're like that with their teams. And their teams are strong, and they're hard-headed, and they're all about business. And the reason that I am the way that I am is because I have my own business to run. And I have people that are running with me, and they deserve my time. So that's the way that my mindset is. I don't want that to come off intimidating. I really am a nice person and I really do love my team. But they know, like I said, that was my last tip, is that you need to be a leader. If you guys have growing teams, be a leader. I know that you guys are all big family because you're all on this call and you guys all know each other. Half of you probably don't even have met in person before, and that's the way our team is too. But we're a family. But it's my job. They came to me because they wanted to build a business, and I'm doing them a disservice by saying, "Oh, it's okay. You lost your emerald rank this week. You'll get them next week. You go, girl." No, don't lose emerald. Don't. That's inexcusable, right? Always push forward. I hope those tips helped. If you guys have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer you. I know I kind of went off on a tangent. I get really excited about this business, so as you guys probably see, but that's all I had. So if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Don't be bashful, you guys. Step up into the leader role. Claire?
Yeah, I have a question. What kind of strategies did you do or use to develop and find your brand? Or did you just kind of do some soul searching or specific? Or were there trainings that you did? I'm just curious.
So for my brand, for me, that same drill that I gave you, what I do with my coaches, I do that for myself every single month. So I reevaluate and I bring myself back to those basics. So I do basically the same questions. I'll ask myself, I'm trying to go back to what I usually ask. I ask myself, like, who I am. Has anything in my life changed right now? Like, for me, obviously, when I got engaged, my entire brand changed. I mean, it completely changed. So think about life events. That's why it's so important to kind of reevaluate every single month. So I always ask myself every month who I am. I always ask myself who I was before Beachbody, who I am now. The business opportunity, I consider myself, now that I'm 2 years into this business, I consider myself a business mentor. So that is part of my brand. You'll see me post on Facebook way more about the coaching opportunity than you see me post about challenge groups, because that's who I am. I want to mentor people and help them grow businesses. So I think that the same thing that I do with my coaches when they're on their Get Started Right calls is the same thing I do for myself every single month. I just reevaluate that and see where I'm at in my life, and that's what I'm posting about every month. But for also, Shalene Johnson does a lot of great branding stuff. So I remember doing a lot of stuff with her when I first started as a coach, but now it's literally just my own little technique of just kind of refreshing myself with that. I hope I answered your question.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Danielle, were you trying to jump in
No,
there?
go for it, Noah.
Okay. So what kind of advice do you have for new coaches who might just be starting out in this business and still like learning the ropes? Because that's something that I'm really trying to work on, is getting my coaches started, wow, all these like phrases. I'm about to say coaches started right. But like getting them to feel that momentum and keep going with it.
For new coaches, I think the biggest thing, are you talking about as a leader or like your advice for the coaches?
For the coaches.
I think that my main priority for when I bring a new coach onto is getting them success fast, helping them find their first success immediately. Because the moment that they see that first success, they get excited about it and they feel that momentum. So for my brand new coaches, my first priority with them is making sure that they have that coming out post within their first 48 hours of them signing up as a coach with me. And then they get to see all those people celebrating them and getting excited with them. So that's the big thing for them. To keep them motivated, that I think that the biggest thing for them, my biggest advice for any new coach is to keep going no matter what. People are watching you and waiting for you to fall off, especially as a brand new coach. They don't believe in you yet. They have no idea who you are and what you're doing. And that's the funny part about it, because they might see Beachbody like all over their news feeds. So why are you any different? What you need to do to create your momentum is literally just keep going. Whether you get one like on a post or whether you get 20, it doesn't matter. You have to keep showing up every single day, and people are going to realize that you're real. That's the thing for me, is just being really consistent and just find the small successes and celebrate them. As you being the leader, Noelle, what I do is I celebrate everything with them. Hey, Jane Doe put out her coming out post. Jane Doe got a couple messages. Jane Doe did this, and this. And I celebrate them for everything, and that really motivates them. Again, people are waiting for for the new coach to fail. They don't believe you. What makes you any different than me or than from Danielle or Noelle? What makes you any different? Show them why you're different. Show up every single day. Be consistent with your workouts. Be proof of these products, and share the story that no one else has, your own personal story. And then again, remember that this business is not an overnight business. And if you think this is some sort of getting rich quick scheme, then please quit because that's not what our business is about. We are a relationship business, and it takes a long time. A girl that I just signed up as a coach today reached out to me in February of last year. You really have to just keep going with the flow and just keep moving on. If you want it as bad as you say you do, you'll stick around. So just do what your leaders tell you to do is my advice, because we aren't just spitting shit at you. We aren't just saying, hey, go do this and this and this, and then we're not doing it. We're telling you what worked. So just keep going. And then a lot of personal development. Make sure you're reading personal development every single day. Like I said, I think honestly, the first year sucks. First year sucks because some of us will come up on a high and then it'll go like, whoo. Then we'll come back up and it goes right back down. This is like what year one is like. And then year two is you're still like this. And all of a sudden year two kind of goes, and you back up a little. It's so like crazy. The ones that succeed in this business are the ones that still go, even when times are tough. They keep moving.
I just typed that in there, but seriously, what you just said sounds like marriage. And I'm like 3 years in, so I'm calling myself an expert. But I can't wait to see your post about that.
Oh my gosh, I know. We'll see. Dirty socks on the floor and crap.
Living with boys is great.
Well, I kind of wanted Kelsey to touch on this, and this could be a whole separate call, which she has on her YouTube if you guys want to go check it out. But I've shared it before with our team page. One thing that I really admired when I was on the cruise is I got to spend some time talking to Zach outside of Kelsey, her fiance, and it was just incredible to hear him. Like, he has no desire to go full-time with Beachbody himself. He has his own job and finding his own passion. But he talks so much about how she has transformed and, you know, his belief has grown. And I think some of you guys struggle, like, showing your spouse how real this is. Kelsey, can you touch on a few little things on how you've helped Zach kind of see the light?
Oh, yeah. How many of you guys have spouses that don't agree with what you're doing or don't understand it? Okay. I'm going to get really emotional on this because this was really hard for me. When I first started, he wanted nothing to do with it. He told me that it was stupid. I was wasting my time. He didn't believe in it. And who's to blame him, right? Just like all of our customers out there that are waiting for us to fail, sometimes the people that are closest to you are kind of waiting for it too. And that's a harsh reality. Because I was kind of felt for a long time that he was like that little like devil on my shoulder that was like, quit, the entire time. But it took a while. It took a lot of me like telling him like, I'm not going anywhere. And I still showed up, and I didn't tell him what I was doing. I didn't tell him what I was making. I kind of just kept doing my thing. I showed up, and I would still, like I told you guys at the beginning of the call, I was very consistent. I still am consistent to this day. And he kind of watched that from behind the scenes. I would say it wasn't until about the time he told me it was okay for, like, when we sat down that day, I had my mental breakdown in February where we decided to quit my job. He was still he was still waiting for me to back out of that. He just didn't believe it. But I think for me, what I started doing during that time period is I started really showing him what the business was about. I talked to him about my friends, like they were my best friends that I hung out with every day and went to coffee with. And they are my best friends, but he was starting to realize that my relationships in the community was something. Then I went to Summit, and he saw me, how I came back from Summit, because the moment I came back from Summit is when I started hitting really high in Success Club and my team started growing. So if you guys aren't going to Summit, I get Summit. So he saw me go to Summit. He agreed to go to a Super Saturday with me, so he got to see that. And he just kind of was taking baby steps. I would never ask him to sell anything. I would never ask him to post on social media. That's just not who he is. But what was really cool is we got this, I don't know if you guys can see like how big my screen is on this thing, because sometimes my team just like, holy crap, because my box is a little bit. I went out and I bought this awesome iMac because I was just like, my business was at that place where I needed a bigger computer and I just wanted to upgrade. And he comes home and he was like, let me do something on it. So he asked me to pull my numbers from the past 2 years. So he was sitting in here for like 3 hours and he started making a ton of spreadsheets for me to show me my growth. And he was making charts to show like my volume growth and show my, all this stuff. And so he started getting like involved with that side of things. And he got to see firsthand by his own, I would say by his own, just willing to kind of look at it, how much my business had grown in a matter of a year and a half. He knew that I was hitting success consistently. He had no idea what that meant. He just knew I was. And then I told him I was going on I earned a cruise for free for us. And that was like another step. He was like, okay, you know, but for me, it was like, again, just showing him that I wasn't going anywhere. And honestly, we walked on to that cruise ship a couple weeks ago. And like I said, I get really emotional. We walked onto that cruise ship a couple weeks ago and we were there. We knew we were going on it. We knew I earned it. And you walk off this, what was it? Like a ramp to get onto the boat. And we walked off and we looked up and you could see all the corporate people were standing there welcoming us on. And there was all this Shakeology stuff and it was just crazy. And he looked at me for the first time and he said, I am so proud of you. And that was like the moment for me where I knew that every single thing that I did over the past 2 years was so worth it. Because for the first time, he believed in me and he believed in the company. And him that whole week, I guess, seeing the people, it was amazing how much he was listening without me saying anything. Because people would walk up and introduce themselves to him, like Danielle or Annalisa, and he would know who they were. He was listening the whole time. Like, I would talk about people. And so whether they're on board with you right now or they're still a little kind of hesitant, just don't let them be the reason that you stop. Just kind of, Zach would probably kill me if I said this. He was the reason that I was like, fuck yeah, I'm doing this. Because I knew that I was going to prove him wrong. And then it took 2 years for me to get there, but just to get that I'm proud of you was all I needed to hear. And now all he talks about is whenever you get to retire me, and on our next trip to Punta Cana, and when I get to go to Summit, and when you hit 2-star, and when you hit 5-star. He knows that stuff because all of a sudden he realized the potential and he realized how much it meant to me. So it started meaning a lot to him. And now he's doing it on his own, where he's learning more about the compensation plan. He's asking me every single Thursday how my team did. Did they rank advanced this week? What does our income look like this week? Holy crap, Kelsey, your income has done this in a matter of 2 months. Like, that's where he is now. And yes, like I said, it took 2 years, but it's so worth it when it happens. So my advice on that is honestly just keep showing up and keep doing it, because they are watching what you're doing, whether you think it or not, they believe it or not. And eventually this day is just going to come where they're going to be right there on board with you.
Thanks for sharing that, Kelsey. I thought, like I said, it was kind of full circle for even me. I mean, I don't have a spouse or anything, but obviously I have family members and friends that have been watching, and I knew that would be important to hear some of our coaches that have spouses. Because Zach, you're thrown onto a ship without coaches. It's kind of rough because all of us just want to talk about coaching and our teams and what's going on. But he was wholeheartedly there, and I think had a lot of fun too. So
yeah, he's actually the reason one of my rockstar coaches, one of my rockstar coaches was going through a lot of stuff, and she kind of backed off from coaching, and she dropped Diamond, and it was really hard for me because she and I were really, really close. And we ran into her when we went back for some wedding stuff at the casino, and he walked right up to her, and he was just like telling her how much she made an impact on my life in the business, and now she's like almost back at Diamond. Like, he did that, not me. And then if I would have asked him to do that 2 months into my business, he'd been like, oh, who? You know, like, he didn't care. But like, now he knew, like, I said, oh my gosh, there's Brandy. Now let's introduce myself. And he goes, you know how much like of an impact you made on her business, and how I know how great you were. She talked about you all the time. And she motivated her to come back. And now she is about to pop Diamond again. It happens. I'm telling you. Just like that challenger or that coach that you have to keep following up with every single month, you know? Put your spouse on your follow-up list. I'm telling you. They'll come around. They will.
what else do you guys have for Kelsey? We kind of are getting to the end here.
Yeah, I'm an open book about anything. You guys can ask me anything.
I have another question. I've been working to develop this more too, because I definitely invite to the coaching opportunity, but you mentioned how you work that into your conversations. I don't know if you said that you were coaching into all of your conversations with new people, or if you just like straight up talk about coaching and don't really talk about the challenge groups as much. But anyways, I was just curious about your process with that.
Yeah, actually talking about the business opportunity is my favorite thing to do. And I run my Facebook page like an open sneak peek into coaching. I got that from Bonnie Engel, and that's exactly what I do every single day. So you'll hear me about, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I have the ability to go work at Starbucks. I am so excited that I don't really talk about income that much, but sometimes I will. I'm trying to think of examples I do. I shout out my team on my page for everything. I talk about, oh my gosh, I'm going to be sending recognition letters to them. I can't believe what they've done this month. I'm always kind of using my life as a coach to my advantage on social media. But in conversations, I wait for an in all the time. Like if there's anything that they ever say that like just gives me the chance to bring it up, I will do it. So I'm going to use my latest coach for an example. We were on the cruise, and I came back, and she was actually just a challenger at the time. So they all knew that I was on the cruise, and I told them to follow up with them when I got back. So the day I got back, I sent them all an email. Like, hey, how have things been going for the past week? Things like that. Hope you're doing well. Like, give me an update, etc. She writes me back, and she gives me her long update on how the challenge group was going. At the end, all she said was, I wish I could earn a cruise for free. Haha, hope you had fun. I was like, yes, done. So I went in there, and I wrote her back, and I said, hey, speaking about that, you actually could earn a trip for free. I'm hosting Coach Opportunity Call tonight. Would you be interested in having the link? And she just said yes, ended up joining my team that night. For other situations, I've had 2 coaches come on just by them telling me no, because it was their price of their challenge pack was too much. I mean, I'm sure you guys get price objections all the time. Every time I get a price objection, I say that I remember I would go through the same thing, and my coach actually offered me the coaching opportunity, which has ultimately changed my life, and I've never invested a dime in my business since I started. I told them if they follow what I do, I can help them make their money back on their challenge pack in 3 sales. One girl told me that she couldn't do the challenge group that month because her heater went out. And I said, if you trust me, I can help you make your money back plus pay for the heater. I said, do something for you. And she signed up for a challenge pack. She is now a diamond coach, and she fast tracked and did it in 3 months. I wait for any opportunity to bring it up, and then I bring it up. I'm not scared to talk about it because I know what it's done for me, and who am I to hold that back from somebody? So my advice on that is that anytime that you feel there's an inkling, anytime there's a price objection, anytime that there's just somebody saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe I went on a trip for free, which is why you share about events and things like that. Anything like that is when I will bring it up. So, and I have a bunch of ways I introduce it, but I also, most of my coaches are coming from challenge groups. The majority, I'm having way more starting to come to me now just about coaching before challenge groups. You get what you post for. I should just say that. You get what you post for. But for my challenge groups, I invite every single one of them to the coaching opportunity. So at the end of week 2, I'm always sending out a message saying, because my challenge groups are usually really active. So at the end of week 2, I'm saying, hey girl, just wanted to, or you've been kicking some serious butt in our challenge group. Have you ever considered coaching? You're basically already doing what I do. It's so short and simple. And then they're like, oh, no, I haven't. And then I'm like, hey, you should come on my coach opportunity call this week. Every single time. I have the coach opportunity calls strategically placed out through the month where I know I'm going to be asking. So converting challengers to coaches and then waiting for ins. I'll talk about it during, and using the opportunity as for price objections.
I think one thing also Kelsey's always done, like she said, even when she was a diamond coach, she acted like a 5-star. So like we didn't go on a free cruise, guys, until a year and a half into our business. That doesn't mean you can't brag that someone from your team went, even if you didn't go, because it shows I'm going to be here next year. Who's going to come with me? So when you kind of shift that mindset, and I know that Kelsey does that a lot, because yeah, we might not be at the financial goals we want to be, or, rank or whatever, but act like you are that coach before you are that coach. I know Kelsey does that really well. So don't think, oh, I haven't gone on a free cruise, so I have nothing to share. That's not true. I know Andrea shared, I paid for my groceries. I helped my husband for the first time when I'm in school and paid for my groceries. That's insane. That's awesome. Share the small wins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do that. We do that all the time. I tell my coaches, like, they had their first cycle bonus. Freaking pays for their tank of gas right now. Like, I was like, talk about it. And they're like, okay. And they did. I mean, people get excited about that kind of stuff. I paid for diapers for some of my coaches. Like, talk about anything. Like, my income posts now are literally how I started my first year as like barely making anything to now paying, like, and showing progressions too, like anything. Just run that page like an open sneak peek. Show people what your life is like as a coach, whether it be your personal development that day or getting off a team call like this. Every single Wednesday night, I'm talking about my team calls every Wednesday night, because people see all of the boxes and they get excited. They want to be a part of something like that. They want to see something like that. So, I don't know, what excited you about being a coach? What drew you in? That's what you should be talking about, because those are your people.
What else you guys got? Was this helpful?
Wait, I always ask this before we wind down. Everyone has to smile.
Oh.
Wait, I'm going to do another one. So no one's blinking. Wait, Courtney, get on there. Okay.
Oh, God. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure this out.
Just smile. Okay. All right, cool.
Gosh, my eyes hurt.
I know, my face is hurt.
Well, Kelsey, thank you so much for your time. Like I say to my team all the time, Kelsey took time out of her business and her team to be here, and she is definitely one to watch this year. She has definitely inspired Noelle and I from the beginning. So, guys, if she can do it, and it doesn't have to be leaving your job, it could just be financial freedom or the freedom to not work as much, like Kelsey was saying. Know that you have the power to decide. That was the one quote that I wrote down. Eliminate your exit strategy. I love that. It's a new tech, I think.
I want to say something too. This is totally because I'm quirky and weird. But the first time I met Kelsey, I was just amazed at how tall she was. Because that's the truth. Like, most of us have not met each other in real life. But, like, when I met Rachel in real life, I was so thankful that she wasn't taller than me. I was like, geez, am I really this short? Danielle and Kelsey are like giants. You wouldn't think it, but they are. Anyway.
The cool thing about it is that I never met either of these two before. But, like, I could pick Noelle out at Summit. I literally saw her, and they pointed at each other, and we went over and gave each other hugs. Like, we never met each other.
I cut in line when stood by you.
Yeah, I waited in line for an hour and a half before that. You should be so grateful.
But, yeah, thank you so much, Kelsey, for jumping on. And I feel like the last couple guest speakers that we've had, it just reminded me of, like, the reason why, Danielle and I and many people on our team have seen success is because, our back's up against the wall. We face a point of desperation. And if there's anything in your life that you just want to change or you need to change, like, that needs to be a part of, like, your going after, whatever, like, with this business. And it fires me up, and I'm on fire. I'm kind of sweaty. Anyways, thank you.
I always sweat. I get really fired up too. I've been, like, dying in this sweater the entire time.
Well, tell Zach we said hello, and we can't wait to see you at Summit with hopefully a lot of these faces with us so that we don't go by ourselves again, right?
Yeah, it was so nice seeing all you guys and meeting all of you. You guys can shoot me a friend request on Facebook. Always
Thank you, Kelsey.
You're welcome. Bye, guys.
Have a good week.